Migrates from dialogue to action in tackling climate change, VP Shettima tells world leaders at COP30.
Through these efforts, we are empowering small businesses, promoting clean energy, and transforming agricultural waste into opportunity.
National Council on Agriculture moves to reduce post-harvest losses, bans use of chemicals to ripen fruits.
Agriculture is the measure of our nation's resilience and the foundation of our collective renewal.
Also on the news, organized transborder crime, Nigeria, Ghana partner to tame the menace.
We must strengthen our capacity in financial intelligence to dismantle the entire criminal enterprise.
Good evening, I'm Lami Ali, and you're watching the NTA Network News live from Abuja. Tonight, we have trending stories shaping the nation. From Lagos, Hingino John Adams reports on activities in the commercial center. And in business, Benny Adams breaks down the markets, monetary trends, and major developments in the financial sector. So, Benny, what's up tonight?
Well, the market is in red, not just in Nigeria, but across key markets in Africa. But on the positive side, the federal government is ready to unlock about $30 billion worth of investment in the special economic zone. Stay tuned to get details of it. You might just be lucky to be part of it.
And on the sports segment, Badia Dele brings you highlights from across the world of sports. So, Badi, bring it on.
Well, Lami, the weekend is here, and of course it's time for league football. From Nigeria to other parts of Europe, we're here for it.
Join us on the go on our website, nta.ng/live. NTA is also on X as NTA News Now, and you can also follow us across other social media platforms for updates. Our other handles are displayed on your screen. Do stay tuned. President Bola Tinubu this Friday received the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Saad Abubakar III. The Sultan, who is also the President General of the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, met the President at the State House this afternoon. The meeting was private between the President and the religious leader, as the details were not made public. The consultation came a few days after President Tinubu met with the Archbishop of Abuja Catholic Diocese, Most Reverend Ignatius Kegama, on a similar meeting. These consultations follow the purported religious persecution in the country. The Sultan earlier joined the Jummah prayer in the State House, where the Imam Alhaji Abdul Wahid Suleiman Abubakar admonished the faithful to continue to support government's efforts aimed at ensuring peace and security in the country. He described peace as part of the prerequisites for individual and general developments of the society. Nigeria's Vice President Kashim Shettima has charged world leaders to move beyond pledging to performance and from dialogue to taking reasonable action in tackling climate change and its attendant impact that has claimed lives and rendered many homeless across the globe. He stated this during the Leaders Climate Summit as the ongoing 30th Conference of the Parties in Belém, Brazil. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
Vice President Kashim Shettima, representing President Bola Tinubu at this annual climate conference, received by the Brazilian President Lula da Silva, reaffirmed Nigeria's global climate leadership with a commitment to achieving an emission reduction targets of 32% by 2035. The unveiling of the National Carbon Market Framework and Climate Change Fund forms the core of Nigeria's climate finance architecture, designed to attract billions of dollars in clean energy and adaptation investment.
Through these efforts, we are empowering small businesses, promoting clean energy, and transforming agricultural waste into opportunity. Nigeria's geography, from the Sahelian plains in the north to the mangroves of the Niger Delta, reflect nature's generosity and reminds us of our responsibility to preserve what sustains us. This is why we are investing in climate-smart agriculture, livestock transformation, and sustainable land use practices that reduce conflict over resources and enhance food security.
Brazil's President Lula da Silva said it will take a collective effort for the world to fight climate change, emphasizing that fighting climate change must be a priority for every government and individual on Earth.
At COP28 in Dubai, countries committed to transition away from fossil fuels. No more greenwashing, no loopholes. We must turn that committing into action while supporting low and middle income developing countries that are highly dependent on fossil fuels.
Nigeria's third national determined contribution, validated and submitted in September 2025, outlines the country's comprehensive strategy across energy, agriculture, transport, waste and industry, as the decade of gas strategy remains pivotal in powering the transition, balancing natural gas utilization with expanded solar and off-grid electrification to drive rural energy access and sustainable development. From Belém in Brazil, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
The National Council on Agriculture has recommended the establishment of cottage and small-scale agro-processing industries for cocoa, cassava and grains in all local government areas across the country. The council also recommends a policy to ban the use of chemicals for ripening of fruits, vegetables and other farm produce. Musa Baba Aliu has the details.
The National Council on Agriculture meeting was chaired by the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari.
Agriculture is the measure of our nation's resilience and the foundation of our collective renewal.
Key approvals and recommendations from the 47th meeting include adoption of memorandum on enhanced synergy among federal, state and local governments for effective implementation of agricultural policies and programs. Approval for the establishment of a national program for the control of Tuta absoluta, commonly known as tomato Ebola. The council also endorsed a proposal for a large-scale commercial production of melon, cucumber and other high-value fruits.
The establishment of small-scale agro-processing industries for cocoa, cassava, tomato, rice and legumes series across agro-processing zones in the 36 states and FCT to address post-harvest losses.
We are still appealing that it be considered.
However, the memorandum presented by Kaduna State seeking to include ginger in the mandate of the Institute for Agricultural Research, IAR, Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, was not approved. The 47th National Council on Agriculture meeting closed with Enugu State designated to host the 48th session. From Kaduna, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
The Nigeria Police Force Animal Branch has embarked on a mission to strengthen the bond between animal health, human security and professional wellness. Minister of Livestock Development, Dr. Idi Mukhtar Meha, as the capacity building, announced that drones will soon be deployed for surveillance and management of grazing reserves, as he promises to work closely with the Nigeria Police Force to integrate animal health monitoring into national security framework. Francis Form reports.
Herder conflicts, livestock disease outbreaks, and animal health challenges have long posed significant threats to both national security and food stability in Nigeria. This two-day in-house capacity building workshop for its veterinarians and para-professionals is one way the Nigeria Police Force Animal Branch is using to address these intersecting concerns.
Recently, the IG also gave directive for the establishment of the Nigerian Police Rangers units, livestock ranger units, just to cope issues of farmer-herder conflicts.
So being professionals, we saw the need to, build their capacity with innovative, cutting edge.
So what disease control measures can we do without the Nigerian Police Force? Because they're in the front line.
We are designing a template for eradicating PPR. We are working with ECOWAS, we are working with Food and Agriculture Organization. And that template, AIG, will include every officer that I have seen here. For us, half of the battle is won.
The training focuses on animal disease surveillance and reporting, farmer-herder conflict resolution, and professional wellness with the team, animal disease surveillance and conflict resolution, building resilient policing system. Francis from NTA News.
The Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation has signed an MOU with Nasani to digitalize Federal Executive Council processes, making it completely paperless through the Cabinet Affairs Office. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, represented by Dr. Eman Sokop Umabong, Permanent Secretary, Cabinet Affairs Office, said the initiative marks a significant step towards modernizing government operations and improving efficiency. The Cabinet Affairs Office aims to operate completely paperless by December 2025. Nasani Executive Vice Chairman and Chief Executive Officer Khalil Suleiman Halilu said the agency has successfully digitalized its operations and it's ready to replicate this transformation in the OSGF, promoting innovation and efficiency. A national initiative is investing over 200 million naira in 14 female Nigerian engineers to commercialize their innovations. The grant was given as the second edition of the Developing Engineering Leaders through her initiative, DELHA, launched by the National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure in collaboration with the Presidential Implementation Committee on Technology Transfer. Jonathan Omajali has more on the award ceremony held at Nasani headquarters in Abuja.
In 2015, Risikat Folashade Adebi began her engineering career with the Nigerian Television Authority in Kabakogi State. As the only female engineer at the community station at the time, her story highlights its stark reality that in Nigeria, women make up barely 5% of the engineering workforce. Yet, Risikat and many other young female engineers across the country are proving that numbers don't define potential. This year, Risikat joined over 9,000 female engineers who submitted innovative proposals spanning critical sectors such as health, mobility, agriculture and clean energy. Today, 14 of these remarkable young women stand proudly at the Nasani Hall.
We want to really thank the organizers of this program for the Nasani and the PICTT team for this great initiative. It's a brilliant one. It has given us a platform to showcase ourselves.
The most important thing we are doing with Delta is to tackle two problems at the same time. One is to get more female into the engineering ecosystem, and secondly is to see how we can bring in products and services.
There are a lot of women that are eager to participate in engineering. They just need, the right kind of support. And Nasani is here to give that kind of support. Of course, with the support of the President under the Renew Hope agenda.
For young women like Risikat and young girls still in school, engineering dreams are no longer distant ambitions. The government will ensure those dreams are nurtured, empowered, and given global visibility. In Abuja, Jonathan Omajali, NTA News.
To ensure a peaceful Anambra governorship election, political analysts have sued for supporters of various political parties to queue into the recently signed peace accord by candidates of the parties. Uchenna Nwekuyo reports.
Violence in election is often escalated by loyalists of political contenders. With this in mind, political analysts have called on supporters of the various political parties in the Anambra election to queue into the peace accord signed by the candidates of the parties for a free, fair and peaceful election.
This peace accord should permeate into the very system of every single electorate. Whether you are going to cast your vote, whether you are an observer, whether you are a supporter, let everybody take the message of peace and do everything to promote peace on election day.
Do not let politicians divide you. These are your brothers, your sisters that you stay with every single day in the community. A politician from Abga today might deploy to APC tomorrow, or from APC to Abga tomorrow. And whatever fight you think they are having, is ended. So please, as the candidates have signed a peace accord, please, the electorates, remain peaceful.
They advise that all the major players should think of the good of the state above individual ambitions. Anambra State will go to the poll on November 8 to elect who presides over the state for the next 4 years. In Onitsha, Uchenna Nwekoyo, NTA News.
Now, President Bola Tinubu is currently meeting with his counterpart from Sierra Leone, Julius Maada Bio. President Maada Bio arrived at the State House this evening for the private visit. The visitor succeeded President Tinubu as the chairman of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of States and Governments. We'll bring you more details subsequently. Now, final countdown to the Anambra governorship election has commenced. So far, so good, as our correspondent Chinyere Fesi Koinoka is standing by to give us an update on the preparations for the polls. So, Chinyere, can you tell us how much effort has been put in place by critical stakeholders ahead of the D-Day, and what is the mood in Anambra communities on the eve of this historic election?
Very much for joining us in Awka, the Anambra State capital. The mood in town here is very peaceful and calm. People are actually going about their normal businesses without fear of molestation or intimidation. The Commissioner of Police in charge of this election earlier today said that adequate personnel has been deployed for this conduct of this exercise. He says that other sister security agencies are equally on ground to assist to ensure that peace is maintained. However, he warned that other security agencies like Vigilante Group, Udogachi, Agune Shemba, and others of their sorts are not part of this exercise and therefore should not be seen anywhere around polling units tomorrow. For INEC, everything is also in place. They have distributed all the sensitive and non-sensitive materials to the registration area center, that is RAC, in the 21 local government areas across Anambra State. So as I speak with you, all the materials are ready in the local government areas for onward distribution. And INEC assures that by 8 a.m., 8:30 a.m. tomorrow, the registration and polling units will be open for the electorate to do the needful. On the issue of other things that has to do with the election, the electorates are very much expectant that the electoral umpire will live up to expectations by ensuring that all the promise is being accomplished by tomorrow. It is equally right and worthy of note that this is less than 24 hours to the election. Therefore, from 12 midnight today to 6 p.m. tomorrow, there will be restriction of vehicular and human movements. Therefore, people are not expected to move about when the election is on, except those on election duty in different places. So with this, you can see that Anambra people are very much ready to do the needful tomorrow. And that's the situation here in Awka, the state capital.
Thank you, Chinyere, for the update, and we urge our viewers to join us tomorrow for live updates on the Anambra governorship elections. Thank you, Chinyere. We pause now for some messages. The news continues after. Do stay. You're welcome back. Nigeria and Ghana have taken decisive steps to confront one of West Africa's most pressing challenges: human trafficking and transnational organized crime. Criminal investigation departments of both countries convened a high-level bilateral meeting in Abuja to strengthen collaboration, share intelligence, and design sustainable roadmaps to tackle cross-border trafficking networks. Francis Form reports.
Trafficking in West Africa, once considered a low-level crime, has evolved into a multi-billion-dollar enterprise driven by poverty, unemployment, and deception, from low labor to sexual exploitation and organ harvesting. Traffickers prey on society's most vulnerable, often aided by modern technology. Today's traffickers use artificial intelligence, fake online job portals, social media recruitment, and cryptocurrency transactions to lure and control victims. This bilateral meeting is to outline practical steps towards addressing these challenges.
As human trafficking is profit-driven, we must strengthen our capacity in financial intelligence, money laundering, and asset training to dismantle the entire criminal enterprise.
So there's a need for us to work together to do much more in this fight against cybercrime. We are all signatories to the Palermo Protocol, hence the need for us to work together to ensure that we are doing much more for our various citizens across our borders.
The meeting, therefore, sets the stage for a broader West African police chiefs dialogue, a united front against the scourge of human exploitation in the sub-region. Francis from NTA News.
Restoration of normalcy in trouble-affected communities, as well as resisting all forms of threats from both internal and external forces, is non-negotiable towards protecting Nigeria's sovereignty. Nigeria's Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Waidi Shuaibu, reaffirmed this commitment when he paid an operational visit to the Joint Task Force Northeast Operation Hadinkai. Abubakar Musa reports.
This is the maiden official engagement of Lieutenant General Waidi Shuaibu within the Joint Task Force Northeast Operation Hadinkai since he assumed office as Nigeria's 25th Chief of Army Staff. The visit, according to the Chief of Army Staff, is not only connected with the conventional operational engagement being carried out over the years, but a development designed to redefine the security architecture, especially in the area of according priority to welfare of personnel for best results.
We appoint the right type of commanders and staff officers to various appointments that will ensure that they do what is best for the soldiers, knowing fully well that the moral concept of fighting power is key to achieving our desired end state.
He called for total support and synergy, stressing that the complexities surrounding the security sector in Nigeria requires robust collective approach. The Chief of Army Staff later performed the foundation-laying ceremony for proposed 30 family corporal below quarters, as well as inauguration of Theatre Command Joint Task Force Northeast Operation Hadinkai Heroes Transit Accommodation. In Maiduguri, Abubakar Musa, NTA News.
The National Economic Council Committee on the Overhaul of Security Training Institutions has visited the Police Training College, Nonwatai local government area of Rivers State, to assess its facilities. The committee, led by Enugu State Governor Peter Mbah, says they are committed to the success of the presidential mandate of revamping security outfits across the country. The facility at Nonwatai is among those in a state of emergency. Ijoma Ugweke reports.
Following the federal government's approval of recruitment of 30,000 police officers yearly, government is assessing the state of security outfits across the country. This time, the committee, led by Governor Peter Mbah of Enugu State, Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun, and Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara, visited Police Training College, Nonwatai, where it was observed that the facility is in disrepair.
So we have seen things for ourselves. This essentially re-echoes the president's passion for getting things done and getting it done urgently.
It is drive to recruit at the minimum 30,000 police personnel. But you cannot recruit them without training them. And you definitely cannot train them in this kind of environment that is not conducive.
It's not just about putting the facilities together. It's a whole package. At the end of the day, police will be motivated so much that they will also act professionally like any other police in any part of the world.
Based on the data collected, it is the hope that in no distant time, the college will return to its former glory, as the last training at the college was in 2022. From Nonwatai, Ijomu Gweke, NTA News.
And in Jigawa State, Governor Umar Namadi has reaffirmed his commitments to upholding the enduring legacies of the late Premier of Northern Nigeria, Sir Ahmadu Bello, the Sardauna of Sokoto. This was during a courtesy visit by the Sardauna Memorial Foundation, led by its chairman and former governor of Niger State, Dr. Muazu Babangida Aliyu. Muhammad Musa Askira reports.
The delegation at the government house, Dutse, Governor Umar Namadi described the Sardauna's life and leadership as timeless examples of selfless service, patriotism, empathy, justice, fairness and inclusive development. He emphasized that these values must be sustained and consolidated by the current generation of leaders across the north so that the younger ones can learn the true essence of good leadership and governance. Earlier, the chairman of the foundation, Dr. Muazu Babangida Aliyu, thanked Governor Namadi for accepting to host the annual Sardauna Memorial Lecture and Awards presentation, which celebrates the vision and achievements of the late northern leader.
Issue of education, issue of health, even the security of our people. If we really walk along the pathway of Sardauna, we wouldn't have been where we are today.
These people, they are not professors, they were not, in fact, degree holders, but the plans that they had for the North was so fantastic that you will be amazed to see it. So that's why we want people to understand there was a leader that we need to appreciate, we need to understand, we need to emulate.
The Sardauna Memorial Foundation continues to champion the legacy of Sir Ahmad Bello, reminding leaders and citizens alike that unity, service and integrity remain the pillars of northern Nigeria's development. In Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
The groundbreaking for the supply of power to the Muhammad Buhari Industrial Park Datinkowa by Niger Delta Power Holding Company has been performed. Emmanuel Akila reports that construction of a 1 megawatt solar mini-grid power project was also flagged off to electrify communities where for over a decade have no electricity in Balanga local government area of the state.
The multi-billion naira Muhammadu Buhari Industrial Park is a project that is conceived to drive industrial revolution, not only in Gombe State, but the entire Northeast sub-region. A sustainable power supply, therefore, is critical, hence the intervention of the Niger Delta Power Holding Company.
We will continue to support His Excellency to achieve energy security and to achieve his industrialization dream that will ensure that we can unlock sustainable socio-economic development.
This project also demonstrates NDPHC's commitment to ensuring that our interventions reach every part of this nation, supporting the federal government's drive towards industrialization, energy access, and inclusive development.
In Telese, headquarters of Balanga local government area, the state government, in a public-private partnership, is constructing a solar mini-grid power station to take the inhabitants out of darkness. Governor Muhammad Inoya Haya says the projects are a demonstration of marching words with action to set Gombe State on the trajectory of industrialization.
Power is the key, is what is going to trigger economic activity, and the livelihoods of the people, especially in small-scale industry, will be revived, and the economic prosperity of every person in Gombe State will be improved.
Gombe State government is taking advantage of the Electricity Act 2023, which empowers states to generate energy to develop their communities. In Gombe, Emmanuel Akila, NTA News.
Network News continues in NTA studios in Lagos with Hingino as our guide.
Thank you, Lami, and welcome to Lagos. Climate change presents significant challenges, from rising temperatures, unpredictable rainfall patterns to increased extreme weather events. In response, the Lagos State Ministry of Environment and Water Resources is hosting the Lagos International Climate Change Summit, LICCS 2025, uniting government leaders, investors and innovators to explore blue economy opportunities and drive sustainable growth.
Lagos continues to pioneer climate action initiatives, fostering sustainable development and enhancing resilience.
Some of the states in the country have 10
Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu at the 11th Lagos International Climate Change Summit, LICCS 2025, underscored the summit's significance as a forum for exchanging ideas, cultivating partnerships, and propelling climate solutions towards an ocean-powered sustainable future.
Our approach to this climate era is anchored on three critical interconnected pillars. We believe it has to be resilient, we have to be completely innovative, and we have to be able to create a financing model that would work.
With the theme, Blue Economy, Green Money, Financing Africa's Coastal Resilience and Ocean Innovation, key players in the industry acknowledge the summit's potential as a catalyst for transformative action and the creation of sustainable pathways.
At this year's summit, we want to deep dive into the many potentials inherent in the blue economy. The Atlantic Ocean is more than just a beautiful sight or a place to relax. It's a vital artery for commerce.
Since 2016, we have mobilized over 177 billion Chinese yuan to support developing countries to address climate change.
At the state level, Lagos is developing innovative water transport systems, coastal protection programs, and waste-to-energy initiatives.
Day one of the summit culminated in plenary and panel sessions concentrating on climate action financing and Africa's blue economy development, as well as the launch of the Climate Investment Opportunities Diagnostic. In Lagos, Adejoke Odeka, NTA News.
Nigerian Army signalers have been charged to be more proactive and ready when carrying out their constitutional duties in military operations. This advice came from the immediate past commander, Corps of Signals and Reviewing Officer, Major General Nosare Ugbo, during his pulling out parade in Lagos.
As the Nigerian Army battles insurgency, its successes are connected with the input of the Signals Corps as well as others. The Signals Corps provides maintenance, services, and skill and information systems for the Nigerian Army. In light of these contributions, the Nigerian Army is honoring the Corps' leadership with a parade, an age-old tradition to bid him farewell as he pulls out of service. The immediate past Corps Commander Signals commended the contributions of the officers and men in the Corps, urging them to embrace and adapt to the ever-evolving technological advances to their advantage.
For you signalers, you must continue to stay focused in your drive towards creativity, innovation, and application of technology in enhancing operational capability and capacities of the Nigerian military and indeed the whole country. You must all remember, in the Corps of Signals, we do not believe in impossibility when it comes to developing solutions in the field of telecommunication and ICT.
The immediate past Commander Corps of Signals and Reviewing Officer, Major General Ugbo, handed over the mantle of leadership of the Corps to Major General Mohammed Abdullahi. In Lagos, Lynn Lenake, NTA News.
That's it from here. The news will be back with Benny Adams on Business Segment after the break.
Good to know you're here. It's time to talk business. Now, Nigeria's federal government is set to unlock $30 billion investment through the Special Economic Zones project, with the FCT having the capacity of generating $150 million through the Abuja Industrial Park Free Trade Zone. in addition to Abuja Technology Village, as well as the Centenary Economic City project. In an engagement with media executives, Dr. Olufemi Ogunyemi, the Managing Director of the Nigeria Export Processing Zones Authority, NEPZA, says the promise of industrialization is no longer a distant goal. It is happening right here in Abuja, with the Abuja Industrial Park Free Zone set to host more than 170 factories while creating up to 40,000 direct and indirect jobs.
Let's work together. Let's showcase Nigeria's potential. Let's together attract investment to drive economic growth and to help this, our president, fulfill his renewed hope agenda.
NIGERIA is also set to license Africa's first virtual free zone, allowing Nigeria to tap into the nearly $1 trillion global virtual economy. And from there, we'll look at health, where the federal government is collaborating with the private sector and development partners. They are committing to digitizing every primary health care center across the FCT and beyond through expanding telehealth coverage to reach the last mile. This was at this year's Nigerian Telehealth Conference in Abuja with the theme, Scaling Telehealth for Universal Health Coverage in Nigeria, Pathways to Sustainability. Stakeholders believe Nigeria is solving her healthcare challenges through digital innovation, strategic partnerships, and people-centered solutions. Speakers here believe mobilizing innovative financing models that make healthcare affordable for all is the way to go. At the end, they agree that government provides policy direction and infrastructure, while the private sector brings innovation and technology, while the diaspora contributes expertise and capacity, in addition to partners like Afro-Exim Bank, to fuel the financial ecosystem that sustains it all. Well, moving on to the markets at this time, it's a sea of red from Nigeria to South Africa as well as Tunisia. The market is red today. Looking at the show, Nigeria lost 0.33%, South Africa lost 1.26%, while Tunisia Tune Index lost 0.06%. The market capitalization for Nigeria fell to 95 trillion naira, and the all share index was also down by 0.33%. That is it on business at this time.
Thank you, Benny. Now, the federal government has reiterated commitment to improving the nation's road network by ensuring transparency in project implementation and management, as well as upholding professional standards in engineering practice. The Minister of State for Works, Bello Muhammad Gurunyu, stated this as the 30th meeting of the National Council of Works held in Ado-Ekiti with the theme, Discipline, Transparency and Innovation in Engineering Practice. Olukemi Sonny reports.
The minister, who described the theme as not only timely but deeply aligning with the national development priorities of President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, the minister emphasized that the ministry is exploring partnerships with private sector and international organizations to bring advanced technologies and AI-assisted project planning into the nation's engineering practice.
This government is committed to strengthening procurement reforms, ensuring competitive buildings, a competitive building, publishing project details, partnership with anti-corruption agencies, institutional transparency, build trust, and deliver value.
We are convinced that improved infrastructure is essential to unlocking our full potential and creating opportunities for future generations.
The 5-day meeting drew stakeholders from across the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory to deliberate, re-strategize, shape the future of infrastructure delivery and engineering policy in Nigeria. In Ado-Ekiti, Olukemi Sonny, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu has extended his warmest felicitations to Reuben Abati, renowned journalist and former presidential advisor, on the occasion of his 60th birthday. In a statement, President Tinubu commended Abati's outstanding contributions to Nigeria's media landscape, academia and public discourse. The president commends Abati's service to Nigeria as special advisor on media and publicity to former President Goodluck Jonathan, noting his insightful articles, regular interventions and television analysis that have continued to enlighten and inspire Nigerians. Similarly, President Bola Tinubu has felicitated with Omoyemi Akerele, founder of Lagos Fashion Week, on winning the 2025 Earthshot Prize for her innovative work in promoting sustainable fashion. Lagos Fashion Week was recognized in the Build a Waste Free World category, beating 2,500 nominees from 72 countries. The President, in a statement by his Special Advisor, Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, praised Akerele's visionary enterprise, stating that the achievement is a testament to her audacity and purpose, inspiring many Nigerians, and wished her continued success. The Earthshot Prize is a prestigious environmental award recognizing innovative climate solutions. You're still on to the NTA Network News. We pause again for some messages. Do stay tuned. Let's dash into the world of sports with Bade taking the lead.
Many thanks, Lami. Let's begin with basketball. As this November, Abuja will come alive as the Basketball and Dance Challenge takes center stage at Mo Arena from November 14 to 16. The three-day spectacle will see 24 of the city's best basketball players battle it out in an exciting All-Stars game, while over 5,000 dancers showcase their moves in an intense dance competition. Spearheaded by former Nigerian basketball player Sam Oguche, the event promises a thrilling blend of athleticism, artistry and entertainment.
Best 24 players in Abuja and around Abuja to play an all-star game on Saturday the 15th. And we're having a skill challenge which has never been done in Nigeria before, and it's done only in the NBA.
To football now, attention turns to match day 12 of the Nigeria Premier Football League this weekend, with Abia Warriors hosting Ayimba in a colossal battle between two sides, hovering just outside the top positions. Also, league leaders Nasarawa United will look to solidify their position at the top of the league when they face Kwara United in the tricky home encounter. Also on Sunday, the classic rivalry sees Rangers International battle Shooting Stars in Enugu. The only game for the weekend, on Saturday, we see Katsina United host Barao FC. And of course, away from the Nigeria Premier League to other top leagues in Europe, as this weekend features pivotal fixtures across Europe's major football leagues. The focus in the English Premier League is firmly set on Sunday's highly anticipated confrontation between rivals Manchester City and Liverpool. Additionally, the rivalry between Tottenham Hotspur and Manchester United unfolds on Saturday, with Arsenal away to Sunderland, while Chelsea hosts Wolverhampton Wanderers. The Everton vs Fulham game will be live on NTA from 3:30 in the afternoon. In Spain, the major clubs face traveling test as leaders Real Madrid visit Rayo Vallecano, while Barcelona travel to Celta Vigo. The Italian Serie A presents the intense derby della Mole as Juventus welcome Torino on Saturday. And that does it on sports tonight. Let's now return to Lami.
And that also does it on Network News for today. We thank you for being a part of it. Do have a beautiful weekend. I'm Lami Ali.